Fans of the original Warcraft are no doubt dying to hear what great new features are being added to the sequel. Well, you've come to the right place. First, we ought to tell you that the game is called Warcraft 2: Tides of Darkness. If that leads you to suspect that water may play a bigger role in this game, you're right. Gameplay in Warcraft 2 has been pretty much left alone. You still harvest resources, which are used to build units to go and pound your opponent. One basic difference is that there are now 4 instead of 2 resources. To the original gold and lumber have been added ore and oil. Ore is mined by peasants and peons by chopping up rocks, and oil is located underwater. To harvest oil, you've got to build an oil tanker. That's right, a ship. Warcraft 2 adds aerial and naval units to the mix. Once you have a tanker, you can send it out into deep water and cast a spell to show where the pools of oil are located. The tanker builds an oil rig which sucks up the oil, and the tanker then transports it back to shore for use. Several new buildings have been added on either side, many because something needed to be able to build all the new units. To build waterborne units, for example, you need to construct a lumber mill which lets you build a shipyard. This in turn lets you make oil tankers, destroyers, and battleships, with the possible inclusion of carriers, mine layers, and subs. Other new buildings include a foundry for processing ore, an oil refinery, and an inventor. Some buildings will also be upgradable. A town hall, for example, can be improved to a keep on the human side, and a stronghold for the orcs. These in turn can be upgraded to a castle and a fortress respectively. Warcraft 2 will also call for a little air traffic control. Each side will be able to build 2 types of aerial units. The first, flying machines on the human side, and balloons on the orc side, can basically travel over obstacles on the landscape, including trees, rocks, and water, and have a long sighting distance. The second type, griffins on the human side and dragons for the orcs, will also be able to attack. The long visibility range is a huge asset thanks to the new Fog of War feature. As in the original Warcraft, most of the map starts out black. Units have a limited visual range, which uncovers the darkness as they move out into it. Unlike the original, however, when units leave an area, it becomes grayed out, permitting you to see the terrain but not the enemy units there. This forces the use of more complex tactics. Obviously, the graphics in Warcraft 2 have been updated. The game runs in SVGA, and all the pieces have been painstakingly rendered. Additionally, the game will ship with a scenario editor, which will allow you to create custom maps, place units and buildings, and edit the plots of your scenarios. Only the map editor was functional in the preview version of the game, but it was a lot of fun to play with. You can use it to create maps of 4 different sizes and add water, grass, dirt, forest, or rocks. You could even set up a map with all of the units presently available to each side, which coincidentally we did. Once released, Warcraft will support 6 players over a network and 2 by modem or serial link. There will be 2 campaigns on either side. The standard campaigns will feature an expected 15 to 20 scenarios apiece, each forming a complete storyline. The veteran campaigns will be an additional 8 scenarios for each side, each of which will be more challenging than those in the standard campaign. The retail shareware version of Warcraft should be available around the time you view this episode of IE, and the complete package will be available in October.